And Houston is a metropolis of about 4 million people, and I hate to even, because I grew up in this thing, I hate to even go to Houston because of many of you live in the big towns because of the traffic. It's horrendous in Houston. It's just really, really bad. And when you've come from a small town that did not have that amount of traffic in it, then when you get into that kind of traffic, I remember the first time I ever drove in Houston. Oh, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But those people, you know, once I got used to it, I learned how to drive in it. But I thought, man, these people are nuts. Don't want to live here. But I didn't grow up in a big town. My town is not small. It's probably average, but I did not grow up with the traffic issue that you find in these big towns. Houston's third largest city in the state of Texas, with Dallas and Fort Worth. Now Austin's becoming a huge city, but we just didn't have the traffic. Okay, look at that. We're getting our little guy at a thing here. Now we're gonna have to cut that. Let's cut that down a little bit. Now I took my wife. I really learned how to drive in Houston because my wife, when she got cancer, we went to MD Anderson, and so I learned to drive real good in Houston a lot, because I spent a lot of time in cancer hospitals with her. My son lives in a very small town in Kentucky, about 3 hours from Louisville. So he lives in an extremely small town, but he's lived in some big cities too. He lived in Nashville, and a lot of people in Nashville. A lot of people. But it's all what you grow up to be. If you grow up in a small town, then the flair of the small town was good. And a lot of people that I graduated with moved out of this area because they just didn't want to stay in these small towns anymore. And they wanted to go into big towns, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. Everybody's got to find what they want in their life. And you find out that as you go to deal with people who live in bigger towns, that they don't jump in the car like I would and just go somewhere because it's an issue, so no more is it any different than somebody that lives out in the country or something like that is a long way off from the city and have to have to commute at a long period of time. It's always that way. You know, I found out that as I grow older, a lot of my friends who were older moved into the country, and they moved back into the city because as you grow older, of course, then usually you have a lot more medical problems and things like that, operations, those type of things. And when you move to areas where you're not near hospitals and stuff like that, it's really an issue. My wife and I, even though I lived in a small town city, my wife and I would commute 2 hours to get to Houston, or an hour, well, about 2 hours back then. And so it was a full day when you went and got treatments and did all that kind of stuff, because you might as well just get ready, because it's a full day you're going to be taking out of your time. It's not just a run down to something like that. On this guy, I'm going to go ahead and put a mustache on him. And so it wasn't just a daily thing. A nearby hospital, and Houston's got some of the best hospitals around. They do. I will say that for sure. Sorry. That's that tuberculosis lung that I have, and I have where I can simply be talking or sitting here, and it can just I can start having coughing fits. I apologize. And that's what I was just talking about. that we in your golden years, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I gotta go get me some water when I start this. So I'm gonna let this go for now, and we're gonna stop it. And before I just continue to cough. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this for now, and we'll take it back up. But yeah, I have to go get some water and drink something. I should have brought some with me, but I don't. So anyway, all right, well, we're going to continue our little fella here as we go, and we'll work from there. God bless.